Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Fan here, and I'm joined with my lovely girlfriend, Maya, and it is time for another double feature. This is the Movie Fam's horror review. Now this week, oh yes, there will be blood. We're doing Riki-Oh, the story of Ricky, and Saw 2. Boom. Alright, so let's start first with Riki-Oh, the story of Ricky. Japanese or it's from Hong Kong? It's one of the two. I think it's Hong Kong, actually.
Maybe Korea.
It's not Korea. I'm going to say Hong Kong. From 1991, Riki-Oh, the story of Ricky. The basic premise is, and I guess I should go ahead and put a little preface on this one. This is not a horror movie at all. It's gory as fuck. Like, tons of blood. It's not a horror film, though. It's definitely more action. However, IMDb had it listed as horror. I guess it's one of the little genres they listed on under the movie, and it's not. But that's why I reviewed it. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm really glad I did because I really like this movie. Riki-Oh is about Ricky who gets put in a prison for murder. But this guy is a modern day Hercules, super strong, and he can fight. He can punch holes. Remember the scene in Kung Pao, Enter the Fist or some shit? Where the guy, he punches the dude and like knocks a hole out, like a clean hole? Imagine that, but like with realistic gore. Like literally, he'll just like punch a motherfucker and like literally like, hand will go through the chest, blood everywhere. It's so over the top and ridiculous. But he goes to this prison and you get the sense he's just trying to, do his sentence. But of course, it's broken into 4 different parts of prison, and each part has their own, gang leader or whatever. And of course, they're starting to cause trouble for him, and he has to, fight back. On top of that, you got a crooked warden and a assistant warden, and on top of that, it's all covered for selling opium. They have a poppy they're growing. So, this movie, I didn't know what to expect going into it at all. Never heard of it like that, but after I watched it, I was like, holy shit, like, this is great. It is so ridiculously over the top, the scenes. Well, my favorite scene, early on, very first, 5 minutes or so, one of the gang leaders is, picking on this old man in the shower. And, literally, it comes off comical at times, kind of campy. But, every time that old man comes near him, he hits him with, he has a toy train. It's a whole backstory, I won't go into it. But he hits him with the train. And, dude, he's fucking him up. Literally, his face is, disfigured and shit, right? And you're like, holy shit. But then when he walks away, someone trips him. Turned out to be Ricky. But when he falls on a board with nails. And it goes right through his hand and his face. And I'm like, holy shit. This isn't just some, cheesy little... No, this is... And the gore, which don't get me wrong... At times looks really awesome, and then at other times it looks so amazingly fake. They'll do a quick cut, and you can clearly see it's a dummy at some times, and then of course the dummy will explode, or his head will get knocked off, or whatever the case may be.
Or that one time.
Yeah. Oh, fucking, what was it? Tarzan was that his name? He just fucking comes in and smashes that one dude's head. It's really hard to review something like this. I mean, you're either in love or you hate it. I don't really see anybody going to well, it's pretty. No, it's great. It really is. But once again, it's so over the top. You can't take it too seriously. What I think is funny is every time he gets attached to somebody, they get killed, and then he goes through a no type moment. Early on, he befriends, the gang leader he kills had a cousin who, I guess, walked in on him doing some shit, so to make sure he don't talk, they cut his tongue out. So he actually kind of forms a decent bond with this kid, gives him he has a flute, he plays a flute, they let him come in with his flute for some reason, I don't know why they didn't strip it of, but anyways, he's playing a flute, so he gives the kid the flute, well then he winds up getting killed. And of course he's like, no, I will avenge him. One of the guys he's fighting, they eventually turn on him, and they use him as bait, and anyways, he dies, and then he's like, no! Tarzan, that's another guy, he's a super huge motherfucker, and anyways, they put him in a jail cell, and it has this ceiling that gets, low or whatever. Well, the whole time, Tarzan's trying to kill him. Tarzan's trying to, put an end to his life, but Riki-Oh stops him. Well, then he's trapped, and either way, it's kind of ridiculous, because how the scene sets up is, you got Riki-Oh in this jail cell. It's bars are shining. And at this point, he's already broken through walls and shit, but whatever.
He's chained.
Yeah, he is chained up. Well, then what happens is Tarzan like breaks through the wall of the cell. And they have a big fight or whatever. And of course, Tarzan whoops his ass, but he eventually gets the upper hand and Riki-Oh comes back. So the warden hits a switch and this wall, or the ceiling, is a metal ceiling coming down. Of course, Riki-Oh can get underneath it and stop it. You know, he does it several times and throws it back up. However, he gets weakened at one point and he's about to go down because he gets shocked. What is? They shock him. But Tarzan, who we thought was dead, comes back and saves Ricky's life. Now the whole time there's a gaping hole in the side of the cage where Tarzan broke through, and I kept telling her, I was like, why don't you just run through there? Like, run through there. I can see the hole. I can see you. I see the hole. I see the ceiling. You can run outside right there. He never does. Anyways, but you know how he does escape? He runs right into the bars and just like fucking shoulder tackles his way through, rips the bars like paper, and he's out. He's like, come on, Tarzan! He's trying to hold him up, and of course Tarzan's like, you know, he's already fucked up, because like Riki-Oh already fucked him up beyond belief. He's bloody as shit. And he's just like, no. And he goes down, and of course he gets crushed. And dude, Riki-Oh is tore up. No! And he's gonna avenge him. Dude, he avenges like every motherfucker gets his. At one point, he's captured, and somebody brings him food. Like someone he's never met before in his life brings him food. Thank you. That guy gets fucked up and killed. No! He gets pissed and starts, I mean, it's like every like 20 scenes or so, there's like one death that will just literally pull the emotional cord that is Ricky's heart, and he will fucking flip out and kill some motherfuckers. There's a scene, and I've seen this in another movie, and if anybody knows that movie by chance, it's another Asian film, I'm pretty sure. But when one scene, he punches the guy in the head, and when he does, it cuts to a quick X-ray and a fist hitting, you know, the head. Fucking awesome. Like it really is just a really badass movie. But once again, it's so over the top. The ending was great because he defeats, you know, everybody. He kills the warden, which is the greatest fucking scene. Because like the warden just like hawks up out of nowhere. Like it made no sense. Because he's like, the warden's like a little skinny, little faggy looking dude, and he's just like, you think you're so strong, and then he's like. He becomes like Super Shredder. He becomes Super Warden. And it's ridiculous. But anyways, he ends up putting him in a meat grinder. It's just insane. But very in the movie, he just walked up this wall, which is, you know, 50 feet high. And he just, you know, solid brick, probably like, you know, 5 feet thick. And he's just like, BAM! Knocks a giant hole. I mean, I'm talking a massive hole. And he just walks out to freedom. And the whole time, like, they're just like, you know, these prisoners are like, they're like, you know, they're all weak. They're being mistreated by the, you know, and I'm like, granted, maybe some of them are put in there wrongfully because they do kind of discuss that, like, you know, the police force is definitely corrupt. But, like, some of these people have to be in there for a reason. You just, like, you know, release all these, like, serial killers and rapists, I guess. But whatever. Yes, I thought it was great. So, what'd you think? You watched it with me last night. What'd you think? Insightful,
okay.
Sweet. Anything you liked about it? Anything you didn't like about it?
I thought it was cheesy. Why would like one hit and then make a freak hole?
Yeah, it's awesome. There's one scene where he is like big sumo wrestling looking guy comes after him, and he fucking does it. You know, he fucking hooks around with a punch through the guy's stomach, and literally just like guts come out. Oh, this is great. Highly recommended if you're a fan of. If this sounds like something you'd be into, check it out. If you're not, then don't watch it because you'll definitely just be bored or irritated, I guess. But I definitely loved it, so I think check it out. Did you recommend it?
Yeah.
You're killing me. Anyway, so moving on. Going 2005, Saw 2. See, the tagline was, "Oh yes, there will be blood," and then there was a lot of blood in the last movie. That's why. Anyways, Saw 2. Now this is 2005. This is 10 years ago, so I'll definitely be dropping some spoilers here. So, basically, in this movie, what happens is we got a group of people trapped inside this house, and of course there is a nerve gas that's gone through, and they're all breathing it in. So they all have to play different games and try to get a syringe full of the antidote, so they can be alive. Meanwhile, though, the kid the only kid that's stuck in this house is actually the son of Detective Matthews, played by Donnie Wahlberg. And Detective Wahlberg is also that they just apprehended Jigsaw, but you find out that Detective Wahlberg is also playing a game, but he doesn't quite realize it yet. This is my absolute favorite Saw movie. And it's weird because it's followed by like the next two, which I know you're a big fan of 3 and 4. You got 3 and 4. I didn't care for 3 and 4. I think upon rewatching them, they've gone up a little bit, but not by much. To me, they're just very low points. But it's just so weird that it went from like Saw 1 and 2, which is really up here, to like 3 and 4 down to here. And to me, almost killed the series, the franchise in general. But this one right here, I just love. I think why is because, like a sequel should do, you should always elevate your material. A good sequel will always take what was great about the original, and not just continue it, but build upon it. And this does exactly that. In the first one, it was basically just around two guys chained in a room. I'm not saying that disparagingly. It was a great movie. I love this first Saw movie. I think it's an awesome movie. But this one took that concept and made it bigger. Instead of just two people now, we got a whole group of people. And the traps are even more elaborate. And whereas in the first movie, and don't get me wrong, I get the whole Hitchcock, the less you see, the more your imagination will run with it. And we had it in the first one, and that's crazy because in the first one everybody's like, "Oh, the first Saw is twisted and crazy," and the stuff you saw is like, no, you didn't, because you didn't really see a whole lot in the first movie. You had subtle flashbacks and quick cuts of stuff, but you didn't quite get a whole lot of the torture, porn part of it. Whereas this one, we see a lot of it. Like we're going through it as it happens. Some of the traps in this one I thought was just crazy. Even now, we've watched it just now, and I'm like, hold on. The first one. The Venus flytrap, the death helmet. Oh my god. And that's what the death helmet itself, yes, it's the key behind his eye or under his eye or where the fuck it's at. It's near his eye. There's a quick shot of like his eye open and a scalpel near it. And dude, I like literally lose my shit every time I see something like that. I'm just like, oh fuck, no. I'd be fucked. I'd be fucked hardcore right there. I'd be like, I'm done. Fucking kill me. Yes, that scene, it still gets me, today. When we're inside the house, some of the traps that I really like, the needle pit, that's everybody's favorite. I love the needle pit. And then, of course, we got, I like the one.
I didn't like how that douche freaking pushed her in the needle.
Oh, yeah, Xavier's an asshole, for sure. But, I mean, as his character, he's supposed to be an asshole, so. But, yeah, and then, of course, we got, and you never quite get, like, a setup for it or anything. Because when she walks into the room, she sees the note or whatever that has the tape in it. She just fucking throws away. She sees an ando. She's going for the ando, and then, of course, she puts her hands up in the box. And, of course, the box has blades and shit. And, of course, it's like a Chinese finger trap. You try to pull it back out, they lock on your wrist and dice into you. Which is just fucking, it's crazy. It really is. And it proven that Xavier's more of an asshole. He could have easily helped her out. He could have went in there under each of the blades, like, kind of pushed up, let her hand come back. No, he just leaves her there. He got the number off the back of her neck, and that was it. So yes, no, this movie I thought it was so much. It's so much better than most of the Saw movies. I think because you have a really strong story, and it's not all over the place. Most of the Saw movies tend to get to the point where it's like you do got a central plot, I guess, where you're kind of following the cops, investigating, but we're just jumping from like death scene to death scene. Whereas this one, we're actually in a house. We got a bunch of characters. We're getting to know the characters, and that helps. It really does. And like I said, the story itself is just really good. And of course, you gotta remember, this is part 2. We don't get the whole, John Kramer was going to have a kid and his wife, miscarried because, some junkie slammed the door on him. We don't get none of that. So this is like the first time we kind of get a little glimpse into why Jigsaw's doing it. And at this point, the only thing we know is that A, he has cancer, but then he tried to kill himself, but he failed to do, he used the phrase, I was strong enough, my body was so weak that it got cancer and couldn't fight the cancer off, but I survived the car crash off a cliff. And I thought that was just kind of neat, and literally he shows you he fucking, he pulls out a piece of shrapnel out of his, chest or whatever. But yeah, no, and that kind of, it's kind of Kickstarter things, and of course he does the whole,
And Amanda's back.
Yeah, that's the thing at the end there. But no, he does the whole, those who don't appreciate life don't deserve life. And, and of course that was kind of the message in the first movie as well. He was, targeting people who, in his eyes, either squandered their life or, have done wrong to others or whatever the case may be. And here's no exception. You got, a group of people who have all been in trouble with the law. The only real innocent person here is really the kid. I mean, granted, he did get busted for shoplifting or something like that at the very beginning of the movie, but it's like he's clearly just a pawn because, his dad is the one that, he's the crooked cop that really set all these people up. I thought that whole plot was, great too. And like you said, the end, we got Amanda's, Shawnee Smith's character, Amanda, kind of taking over the role, and that's something that I'm really sad we didn't get to see more of later on in the series, because I remember after this movie, I didn't really think Jigsaw was going to be back in the rest of them. Like, when you watch this movie, it's like he's bloodied up, he's about to die of cancer, and he's fucking in a car thing, you know, he's clearly on his deathbed. But I was like, Amanda, you know, kind of passed the torch to Amanda, so I really assumed, like, you know, whatever sequel like this would be more focused on her, but then she kind of goes crazy and loses her shit, like in part 3, like she's jealous and shit, and then I think Jigsaw dies at 3, but then the rest of it's always flashbacks and shit, so, and I didn't like the other guy, and I know I'm getting off topic here, I'm going more on the other Saw movie, but I think his name is Eric. He took over, in the future ones, and I didn't really care. Not so much. I just didn't like his character. I just didn't really think he seemed like he was smart enough to pull off this whole thing. But either way, but no, I think this ended on a really high note, because I really liked the fact that you wind up finding out that not only was the whole, because when they present it, you think that the people in the house, his son included with Amanda, is happening at the same time that he's in there talking to Jigsaw. Because he just wants to know where his son's at. Like, can I find my son? Get him out of the house. And the whole time, Jigsaw's just like, listen, just sit here, talk to me. Your kid's in a safe, secure place. Or if you sit here and talk to me, I'll make sure your kid is in a safe, secure place, whatever the case may be. And there's a timer going down, and you just assume that timer is the worst possible thing. Could it be a bomb? Maybe that's the timer of them, like they have that virus in their system. Maybe they're on die or whatever. So you're just thinking the worst regardless. And I really like the fact that, all he had to do was sit there and talk, and clearly Jigsaw just wanted to talk about, his sordid past, the fact that he screwed these people over. And of course, you can't really fault Donnie Wahlberg's character, Detective Matthews, because it's his kid. And he doesn't realize what's going on. Like, most of us, when we watched it for the first time, we didn't know what the fuck was going on. So you just assume, like, fuck you, I want my kid, and, And really, at this point, even if you've seen the first one, we didn't quite get the whole Jigsaw thing yet. Maybe you did, I didn't. Because later on, you're just like, well, clearly, there's a pattern to these, traps or whatever. Or if you're playing a game, go against what you would normally do. If you're the type of guy that's going to run to a room, to try to save somebody, maybe you don't run into that room that day. You just stay away. And, of course, Detective Matthews' instincts would be to beat the fuck out of Jigsaw to find his kid. If he would just sit there calmly, talk to him, and then when the timer would have ran out, he would have been revealed that all that stuff on the monitors was actually taped, previously, and that his kid is actually in a safe in the same room with him. However, they didn't do that, and he let his temper get the best of him. He beats the fuck out of Jigsaw, and then of course he becomes trapped in the same room that Adam and fucking the other guy's name, Larry Lawrence. Were trapped in part 1. So I thought that was kind of neat too, because I remember I saw this in theaters when it came out, and that was a cool reveal right there when Amanda and the kid are running Daniel, when they're both running and they go into that room, they open it up, and they hit the light, and then the lights come on, and you realize they're in the bathroom from part 1. I was like, oh, it's fucking amazing. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of this movie. Really dug it. Got a great story. The acting's pretty good, and then on top of that, of course, it has tons of gory carnage for you guys. So, Sweetie, what do you think about this one?
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like the needle part.
Yeah, it's a really good prop right there, or a good set piece right there. I really dug that.
Yeah.
All right. A damn good movie. Check them both out. But yeah, Saw 2. Riki-Oh, the story of Ricky. That's actually right here on YouTube, actually. Type in, I think it's under Riki-Oh, the story of Ricky. Because it has like multiple fucking titles, but I think it's under Riki-Oh. So check them both out, and yeah. Anything else to say?
Nope.
Alright, well guys, for Maya, I'm the movie Phantom, and yeah, I'm out of here.